Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. Today I got the honor of having Mr. Gigafactory himself with me, Brian White from My Tesla Weekend. Hello, Brian. And
How's it
welcome to
going?
the channel. Good.
Yeah, yeah. So glad to be here. I'm glad you could that we could get our schedules to line up.
Yeah, in the busy holiday season.
Yeah,
Yeah. How are you doing?
doing great, doing great. It's interesting times. There's so much going on with the sentiment surrounding the stock that has so little to do with the company itself.
Yeah.
This too shall pass,
Yep.
like a kidney stone.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. People might know you from your YouTube channel, My Tesla Weekend, and we have also collaborated for quite a while. I cannot actually remember when we started that you do your Gigafactory updates on My Little News Show.
It's been about a year. It was right around the start of the year that we did that. So happy anniversary.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got me something nice.
Yes, of course. I'll bring that around later. Anyway,
Yeah. I got you an NFT.
Yes, of course.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, what people might not know about Brian is that he is actually very, very good at predicting Tesla's production numbers and deliveries. People might hear about some other big Twitter personalities that are pretty good at predicting, but Brian has a very, very good prediction tracker.
Yeah.
So I thought I might ask you some questions today about where you think this Q4, this crazy Q4 that we have been seeing will end and where that will take 2023.
So there's some, let's go factory by factory. Fremont is doing great. We know it's doing great. It's in my production trackers. I look extensively at the drone footage, and Fremont always looks the same. Of course, with Tesla, nothing's ever the same. So if it looks the same, it means it's growing just a little bit. So I always give it like 2-3% growth, in part based on year over year, but mostly based on quarter over quarter. And then you balance it by the days. Shanghai is the big question mark because we've got some unexpected shutdown. But how much is it? We've also got an unexpected increase in production that kind of came out of nowhere early in the quarter. A lot of the doom and gloom predicted in China, I don't necessarily see. You were good about tracking the ships coming out of China. I know at one point you said there was, 9 in transit?
Yeah.
And that was just to Europe, not to Oceania.
Yeah.
So the export numbers are ginormous. Well, other people love to track deliveries more than production. I just track production. Someday the two numbers will balance out. But until the delivery wave is unwound, who knows? In Berlin, we've got big numbers coming out. And in Texas, we're seeing also big numbers. If you look at even Joe Tetmeyer's footage from, I want to say, yesterday, he's saying that as quick as the cars are coming out of the factory, they're already on carriers and on their way out. So we are absolutely going to see a record quarter. The only question is by how much.
Yeah. and where do you land?
Oh, you want to scoop? I haven't published my number yet. Okay. But that'll be out. Maybe. It'll probably not be out until the 31st because I'm waiting on more drone footage to come out of Shanghai and Berlin before I can get a final number. But it's going to absolutely be a record. It'll be magical. And it's crazy anything over 400 is going to be fantastic. Yeah. It wasn't that long ago. When was it? 2 years ago that when we hit 500,000 for the year, oh my gosh, we couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at quarters that are going to be that big.
Yes.
But as you know, no demand.
There's no demand. Demand is dropping off a cliff.
Yeah.
And that's why we get record numbers all the time.
Yeah. And that's the crazy thing. We're looking at, even with how far the stock has fallen, it still has twice the market cap of Toyota. Yeah, but Toyota's got problems. Forward looking, Toyota's got problems. Their electrification strategy is half baked at best, and they don't really have, they've got a lot of work to do to get their supply chain shifted to handle electric. And they're still making hydrogen. What are you doing? Yes. Meanwhile, you were pointing out they're closing the hydrogen stations in Europe. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely. So what are your predictions for 2023 when it comes to production? Because
so we've been hearing 50% year-over-year growth. Some years a little more, some years a little less. This year might be a little less. Next year is going to be a little more. Because Berlin is coming online fast. It's already up to 3,000 a week. You were thinking it'd be at 5. It's going to be there, like you said, as soon as third shift comes on, we're going to be right there. Yeah. I watch your channel. That's right. And then, but the same is true in Texas. And there's all those rumors about Giga Mexico. No, Mexico Gigante is not happening. I don't see any reason for it to happen. In Nuevo Leon, they've already got a bunch of parts suppliers. That's probably what it's about. There's no, unless they're getting tens of, billions of dollars to build a factory there, they're not going to. There's unrest and instability in Mexico that makes it a bit of a tough sell for a project of that caliber. And there's just no need. Giga Texas is still expanding. And once, I do hope that when we find out that Giga Mexico is not happening, or at least not in the way it was predicted by whoever created this rumor, that maybe there'll be a flight to quality and people will start watching channels that actually tell them the truth instead of hype. The hype, man, I tell you, there's a couple of real big hype ultra bulls who will say anything to make investors happy. Anything, that is, except the unvarnished truth.
Yeah, exactly. So do you think we're like 2.3, 2.4, 2.2? Where do you put your numbers?
So you're going to do this to me, huh?
Yes.
2023, you say? So the absolute worst case scenario, everything goes wrong. I'm saying 1.8.
Okay.
And with most things going wrong, it's still north of 2 million. My neutral case is over 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over 2.5.
Yep. I'll have better numbers shortly, but that's also digging into my proprietary 11-year production prediction tracker.
Oh. Well, I'll take 2.5 any day. So that's good.
Yeah. And it's actually, my number on this, I haven't updated this in a couple months. My neutral case for 23 is 2.78.
2.78
is my neutral case. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
numbers.
Some big numbers. But you got to think about, it's not just that we've got Berlin coming online. It's not just that we've got Texas coming online. It's that we've got the Cybertruck coming, and it's going to fly out the door once they get it dialed in. It's going to likely ramp faster than previous vehicles. And in terms of getting, battery supplies, it's plenty likely that all 4680 production could go to the Cybertruck at that time, with the Model Ys getting just the 2170s. And some of the Model 3s and Ys that would be getting 2170s will now be getting LFP batteries from BYD. So it's everything everybody shifts by one chair and it works.
Yeah. Everything's lining up perfectly.
Yeah. So it's going to be a big year. And it's very easy to get bogged down and upset and angry about the stock price. And, Elon said this and that. And he did. Make no mistake. But his words haven't dragged down Meta and Google and Apple. Yeah. Everybody's taken a bit of a hit. And you can argue that Tesla might be taking more of a hit, and that there are some buyers who are likely to not return to the brand due to some of these shenanigans. Maybe, but that's not the bulk of the reason the stock is down is because stocks are down.
Yeah, definitely. And we have a lot of cool things looking forward to in 2023. And are the Cybertruck what you are looking the most forward to for 2023, or what are you most excited about?
Absolutely. It's the car doesn't have a single logo on it.
Yeah.
You don't need it. You will ask once. You will ask one time, what is that? And you will not forget.
Yeah.
So that's
true.
Yeah. Now, until we see an announcement of another car, and I'm glad that we haven't, because we've got a lot on our plate. Same is true with the factories. I'm glad we haven't seen a factory announcement because we've got a lot on our plates. So the big thing, all that's left right now is the Cybertruck and the Roadster. And the Roadster, it's not going to be a huge volume vehicle. It'll be super cool, but everything they make is pretty cool.
Yeah. And the Cybertruck is looking pretty cool.
I'm very excited about it. It's, I still have a lot of unanswered questions about the engineering that we won't know until it's in customer hands and people can start poking at it.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see Sandy Monroe trying to tear that one apart.
Yeah, he's excited. Well, you talked to him. You've met Sandy. Do your viewers know that?
I don't know, actually, if they know.
Yeah.
In San Diego, where I also met another great person called Brian White.
Oh, that guy's a tool. I don't know, man.
Madman.
Yeah.
But we are going to see each other again in 2023.
That's right. We're going back to Fully Charged in Farnborough.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
To Europe.
Yeah, big Euro tour. If you're in England or Ireland and would like to say hello, get on my calendar. By all means, let me know, because I'm going to be spending about 3 weeks
in Europe.
In England and Ireland and perhaps Scotland, but it is as yet undecided.
Awesome. That's cool. Well, the stock has been down, as you say, and it has been a crazy year with COVID lockdowns and supply chain issues, and stock is way down compared to what we are getting used to. But there has been a lot of excitement through the years as well. So what have you been most excited about in 2022 when it comes to Tesla? What has been the most crazy moment?
Well, so obviously the factories are my jam. Those are very exciting, but I don't expect everyone to share in that kind of joy. So I would say the semi truck is exciting, because if you look at the real frustration, the only frustration is there's 2 questions that do not yet have an answer, and they're the most important. What's it cost and what's it weigh? Yeah. We don't know. But that's true of all the electric semis. And the reason for that is the cost is flexible and falling, hopefully. And the weight is also something that's being addressed. And this is across all the electric semi manufacturers. Yeah. So what's exciting is we have reason to believe that this costs about the same as all the others, with the difference being that it's got twice the range.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of misinformation around it. But unlike with passenger vehicles, misinformation doesn't work in the commercial sector, because the commercial buyers are fact driven. They're numbers driven. They don't care that you think that it's, well, when you put Frito-Lay potato chips in it, it goes 480 miles. But when you put the pop in it, it only goes 100 miles with beverages. Right. That's because that's how long the routes are. They've always been that length. No one thinks diesel can't go more than 100 miles. That's just how they do it. And if you think the efficiency really fell 80% because of weight, you need to stop talking.
Yeah, I think the semi-truck was also a very good surprise for people, because they said they wouldn't do it this year.
Well, yes. And a lot of people said it would never happen. It's impossible. It is impossible. And it's not. It's not. I thought the solution with the tri-motor, with two of the motors disengaging at speed, was a very elegant solution. You know about that. The idea is all three grab onto the axles for under load, and once you get up to speed, two of them disengage.
Yeah.
So it's elegant because one plaid motor is plenty to keep you at speed.
Do you think they will do something or have done something similar with the Cybertruck?
I don't think they need to.
Okay.
Yeah. I think because semis spend so much of their time at highway speed, it's
along.
more important. Where a passenger vehicle is more likely to be stop and go and all that.
Do you think that the Cybertruck that we are excited about for 2023 is going to be able to pull a lot more load that we have seen some of the non-Tesla pickup trucks? Because they have been dropping quite a bit in range and stuff like that.
The range,
yeah,
it's sheer aerodynamics. They haven't solved it. They're going to lose half their range just like everyone. The advantage they have is that they're likely to have 500 miles of unladen range versus 350. Now, you met Bear from Bear's Workshop. He's got a Mach-E, and the battery is not good. Yesterday, he showed me his app. He goes, look at this. It's at 100% state of charge, estimated range 211 miles. What is that? I mean, I'll let you do the conversion there, but it is 211 miles. That's for 100%. I mean, you'll get more than that on your 80 to 20% charge on a Tesla. So that is very bad.
And so that's only like 340 kilometers or something like that.
Right. That's 0 to 100%.
Oh.
Yeah. So
how
it's
old
like,
is that car?
It's a Mach-E. They're all new. There's no such thing as an old one.
That's true. That's true.
But his just a few months old.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if that battery's going to make it. Because that's...
Well, it should be under warranty then.
Yes. It has to fall a certain amount. And in the U.S., I don't know what it is in Europe, but in the U.S., we've got, I believe it's a federally mandated 8-year, 100,000-mile warranty on batteries.
Oh, okay.
Which is excellent peace of mind for consumers.
Yeah. Right. Oh, that's crazy. If that's already, well, there's only one car. Of course.
There's only one car. But the question is, with your Ford Lightning, if you're starting in a best case scenario of 350 miles, and you really want to keep it in the 80 to 20% state of charge range, and then you cut it in half because you're towing, my goodness, there's just not much going on there.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Tesla, hopefully, and that's the other encouraging thing is since the Semi is getting the 500 miles of range that was promised, this is leading us to believe we should expect to see the 500-mile range also on the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Because range, the specs are something Tesla doesn't miss on. What they miss on is the price and the schedule.
Yeah. The delivery times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because we also have, for next year, it seems like another factory is also gearing up, and that's the Megapack factory for their storage energy. And it's getting some attention right now because the rumors of it's already being pretty close to fully operational and ramped up to those 40 gigawatt hours. What are your take on that?
So my source at Nevada was under the impression that it wouldn't be fully ramped until June. And at that time, they would probably be shutting down the Nevada production of Megapacks. It looks like, to me at least, that they're ahead of schedule. And even if they're not actually producing all the pieces, they're still doing some of the assembly there. What's exciting about that factory is it has an initial capacity of 40 gigawatt hours a year. And if you look at the competition, they're very excited. We've got a factory just like it. Ours is going to output 8.
Yeah.
And it's like 6 to 8. And you're like,
what? Waiting for something else. 80 what?
You're not. So think about it. What's the difference between 8 gigawatt hours and 40? The difference is you've got an assembly line. One is going to be hand built and the other is a factory, a proper assembly line where things and the economies of scale. And because the mega packs are using the iron batteries, they can charge 0 to 100 instead of 20 to 80. So they can use the full range of the battery. They're not as constrained by the weight because it's stationary. They have longer lifespans because they've got more cycle life than a lithium-ion battery, than a traditional nickel chemistry kind of battery. And they might be cheaper. They might not because, getting anything in that kind of quantity can be a challenge. And they don't have the benefit of in-house production. So, but even if they're not as cheap as you might like them to be, they're available. And so they're going to be, I've made videos about it. The mega pack aspect of the business is a $1 trillion opportunity easily.
Yeah. And that's going to, in my opinion, kick off next year.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really going to start seeing that being where people start to pay attention to it in the earnings call.
Yeah. I asked Matt Smith from Good Soil Investment, when will they start counting? When will analysts start considering the value of mega packs? And he said, when it makes a significant dent on the financials. Yeah. And I think you're right. I think it's going to be in the next quarter or two, we start seeing that show up. Because it's not just the sales of these things, it's also the service, which is tens of thousands per month per pack. It's also the auto bidder software that allows them to get some arbitrage on the actual energy rates. It's also their own in-house owned mega packs like they have in Texas, where they're the ones keeping all the profit. And then in Texas, you've also got these virtual power plants that are getting bigger and bigger. They've got them in California. And yeah, storage is the Wild West, and we've got the best cowboys.
Something like that.
Something like that. I think I strained that analogy a little bit, but
yeah, but it makes sense. It makes sense. I think, especially if we also hit a recession in 2023, as many are predicting, then car sales may drop, or the profits may drop out of the sky just to keep production ramping and sales ramping. But as I also been talking about, they can earn their money back on software, but if they're suddenly going to earn billions of dollars in profits on their storage at that point, it is going to be a very good timing for their storage business to ramp up as maybe a recession hits.
Yeah. One thing Elon said just last week was that he's starting to see the cost of goods inching back down, which is an early indicator that the market is correcting, if not going all the way into recession. But what he's saying is that what that means is that the cost to build a car is going down a bit. And Tesla uniquely has the most margin to play with to keep demand strong. Yeah. It's not like General Motors, who is literally losing money on every EV they sell and still dropping the price.
Yeah.
We're losing money, but we're doing it in tremendous volume.
Yeah. And we're going to scale that up.
We're going to scale the losses. And yeah.
I think the storage business is really going to get some attention here in 2023 for sure. And,
I agree.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Brian, it was awesome having you on for a quick chat here before the year runs out. So I hope we're going to have some more discussions next year and see some cool new updates about the Gigafactories.
I hope so too. It looks like they're not quite finished yet. So yeah, we've got some opportunities to cover some good ground.
Yeah, and they're probably gonna start a new factory in 2024.
I think so.
Cathode, cathode building also, or the
Yeah. Well, that too, but
yeah,
oh, the lithium
the refinery. What is it
refinement.
called?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that one. Yeah, we got a
It'll
lot
be
of
interesting.
stuff to look forward to. And don't forget, if you want to keep a closer eye on the gigafactories, hit up Brian on My Tester Weekend. He's taking some deep dives out there. Knows his stuff. Well, Brian, thank you so much for tuning in, and have a very happy new year. And I'll see
Thank you,
you on the
Lars.
other side.
All right.
All right. See you. Bye.